There we go. There we go, guys. Hello. Hello, everyone, to another episode of A Drink with Brink, where I talk with other indie creators about their lives and their careers and their books. Because corporate comics has lost me, and indie comics is where the fun is, guys. So yeah, whew, what a weekend! I'm so busy. I'm in fulfillment mode. So Perfect 10 issue 3 is being fulfilled. Some of you got their books. Some of you, the books are on the way. So you got notifications that the books are on their way to your house. And some of you still need to, I still need to do. So yeah, a lot of things going on. My entire house is a mess. So boxes everywhere, books, prints, cards, magnets. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy. And meanwhile, I'm also setting up a Kickstarter campaign for American Bliss because, as some of you know, Indiegogo has a habit of shadow banning campaigns, and they shadow banned American Bliss. They also shadow banned Perfect 10. So after 1 month on Indiegogo, we ended American Bliss, and now we will do a second chance campaign on Kickstarter to get some extra funds and extra books out there. That will be great. So yeah, can I show you guys a little update? Sure, I can show you guys a little sneaky peeky. Okay, let me share this with you guys. Window. Can I show? Yeah, I can show this. Look at this, guys. This is from American Bliss. So new page, just colored. American Bliss. I think there are about 7 pages that need to be colored still, and then it's done. Then it can go to the letterer. So yeah, some pretty art, pretty colors. Colors are fantastic, man. And Eric is doing a great job with the line work. So yeah. Hey, I saw Ryu is with us in the chat. Hello, Ryu. Hello. And Hicks Villain. Welcome, Hicks Villain. How are you today? How are you? All right, guys, this was just a sneak peek. If you want to take a better look, it's on the campaign page as a update. I just updated it before I went live. So check it out. Stop sharing. Because, guys, it's time for our guest. Our guest of today, a new guest to the show. He has a fantastic looking book. We need to take a look at that, guys. We need to show you guys what this person is working on. It's phenomenal. So let's just welcome to the show Mr. Justin K. Sweet.
Hey, I love the round of applause. It's nice. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're very welcome, sir. So, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. I It's a little early for me to be drinking beer, so I decided I'm having some Earl Grey tea,
Oh,
no
that's
sugar.
right, right.
Yeah.
So, at what time you start drinking? Like, yeah.
G- g- Generally, as a rule, like I've always, even back when I was in the army, it was kind of my thing. Is I don't typically drink while the sun's still up.
Okay,
So for
right.
whatever reason, I've always followed that. You
That's a good rule, man.
know.
That's a good rule. It
Yeah.
sounds great. Mike is also here. Welcome, Mike. Welcome, sir.
Hey, Mike.
Hi, Dave. It's above freezing here. Oh, but it's been snowing for 12 hours. Yes, a small delay on American Bliss is fine. Eric's art is awesome. Don't forget your ticker. Oh, the ticker. Thank you so much, man. Mike always reminds me of the ticker, which is great because I tend to forget it. So let me see. I made one. Yes, I made one. Here it is. There we go. Almost
Nice. We have a
professional.
Chiron. I love it. That's so cool.
Whew. And did I miss anyone? No, no. Okay, okay, Justin. So um, Chrome Dog, I saw Chrome Dog. I saw some awesome art. So it's great to finally talk to you. Talk to the creator about this concept. So is this your first comic book?
Yes, this is the first comic book project I've ever been a part of. But I mean, I have to give mad props to Luke Stone for being pretty much like you could say he's the showrunner of while I'm the creator and this is my story. These are my stories and the characters that he and I are working together to create visually. He's definitely yeah.
Right. So Luke does all the management and
so
he publishes your
so
book,
so
right?
generally, well, he's the artist, right? First and foremost,
Oh,
but
he's the
second,
artist. Okay.
he's also helped with layouts, and when it comes to he's also the letterer on this particular project. But he's being that he's been in comics from what I understand, like 13 years, 13 plus years, 8 years, I believe, professionally, or as he would say, seriously.
Hmm.
He's definitely done a lot of the heavy lifting in that arena because me being so new to this design space and
Right.
bringing my own uh, way of things or whatnot. But as far as like managing the project, I'm pretty much it. There's He and I were kind of double team in that regard, but yeah, I mean it still falls on me to get this stuff out there and up there.
Right.
he's
Right.
he's the he's the one making the art, making the pretty pictures, um, and making everything pop for us. So
Wow. That's so cool that you can work with Luke. Great stuff.
yeah,
Darkside is Comics is here. Welcome, sir. Guys, Darkside is Comics has his own YouTube channel with daily comic book reviews. So subscribe to Darkside is Comics. Shadowhawk Talks is also here. Welcome, sir.
hey
Chrome Dog.
Shadow.
Yes, Chrome Dog.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. He's
Oh,
he's one of my first backers. So
oh really?
big shout out to Shadowhawk. Yeah.
Yeah. He's great. Okay, so what did you do before? Did you have any? Did you always plan to make a comic book? What was the road towards you deciding to make your own book?
So ultimately, when I was a kid, I was into comics. I believe the first comic I ever got was at around here. I don't know if you've ever heard of Shriners there, but
Shriners?
here, yeah, Shriners. They're kind of in a way they're related to the Masonry or Masonic. The Masons,
Oh wow.
Freemasonry, I guess would be the
Okay.
best way to say it. But here in the states, they have a circus that they'll put on for charity that benefits the Shriners Hospital, which is a hospital that they also facilitate. And so in that at that circus, they have these clowns that kind of before and during intermission, the clowns hand out free comics, or at least they did. This is back in the 80s. And I remember being handed my first couple of comics, and I think I was like 6 or 7. And then it just kind of went from there. I had an uncle who gave me a bunch of comics when I was about 10 or 11, and then X-Men #1, and I got that big pack of all the different covers. I got that for Christmas one year, and then we were off to the races. I
Right.
was a comic book fan all the way up till I joined the army. I guess once a fan, always a fan. But what I mean is, like, I was collecting comics and this and that. Spent many hours, much to my mother's chagrin, sitting, in the quarter bins at the local
Mm.
comic shop, just poring over comics. And
Right.
but yeah, I just kind of shelved the hobby once I joined the army. You can't really space. I mean, or you don't have a lot of space to put things, and so
Right.
I kind of shelved it for a little while. Got back into it once I got through with all my training. Welcome Back, Frank actually came out. That was the big Garth Ennis run. I think it was 2000, 2001. And that really galvanized and got me, like, back into to really looking at comics again. But I still, years went by, I shelved it a little bit because we had kids, and life just kind of takes you and and
Mhm.
you kind of do other things.
Right.
And so over time I developed a certain interest in tabletop role playing games, and so I
Oh.
started game mastering for a couple of years, and it was a recent campaign we were finishing up. I'd run this. It's a Stars Without Number is the name of the game system, and it's a space opera kind of game that we were playing.
This that's your
And
own system? You designed it?
no, no, no,
Oh.
no. I'm sorry. Kevin Crawford of Cine Nomine Games, or public. I'm sorry, Cine Nomine Press, I believe.
Mhm.
He published a game called Stars Without Number, which is a sandbox, build your own kind of space opera game. And
Okay.
so it's tabletop role playing game. And so as we were ending that campaign, I got I got to where I was kind of feeling like, okay, there was so much more I wanted to tell in the stories and everything. Hey Fanta,
Hello. Hello.
the and so when we wrapped it up, I was looking at all of this GM prep that I had. So just so much paperwork to show, hey, this is the story that I told, and this is the parts that I didn't tell. This is the
Mhm.
world that I created or was in the middle of creating, and then the game was over, and so all the players, we all just kind of finished the game, and everybody's moved on to something else. And so I just got to thinking one day, I'm like, well, this there's a story here, and I want to try to take some of these elements and craft something that they can actually endure. And around the time Ripa, Eric July was coming up, he was talking about coming out with talking. Okay, this he was really talking about his upcoming Ripaverse stuff, and that really
Yeah.
inspired me to say, well, if he can do it, then there's nothing stopping me from doing this. But one day he kind of mentioned EVS, and I'm like, who is that? And so I looked him up, and I looked, and then I instantly got plugged into the whole Comics Gate, phenomena, and started listening and paying attention. And I was like, yes, I can definitely do this. And
Right.
next thing you know, just by a fluke, Luke and I both just kind of came together on some character designs, and wham, here we are. I mean,
Through a
it's
fluke,
pretty
you met
much it.
Luke. Yeah.
Yep, by fluke.
Um. Welcome, Phantasmagorical. Welcome, and Gregory Hill. Gregory. Um.
Hey,
And Eslin. Hey, Eslin. Long time no see. Welcome
hey,
back.
what's up?
Welcome back. Great. Okay, so you followed streams. You got inspired to, hey, maybe I can make my own comic book. So from that point on, did you need to develop your concept, or did you already have something that you could use?
So with those reams of paper that contained all of the GM prep and the world building that I was creating, I had like this expansive, you could say, in Star Wars Outnumbered, they're called sectors. It's an entire, like, you could say universe of like 23 different worlds, and each world has its own thing that happens, like, or its own thing that's going on. And so I was looking at that, and I was also inspired by the Daredevil run with on Netflix, right? And how I like that
Okay.
street level, kind of dispensing justice. And I also was noticing that the current comics are just not entertaining anymore. You got these superheroes that at one time would when they met each other, they'd be throwing down either against each other, or they'd be teaming up throwing down against somebody else, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you're seeing them in a coffee shop talking to each other through the whole issue. I'm like, what is this? Like,
Yeah.
whatever politics, whatever, it's just like this. Where's the action, right?
Yeah.
And so
It's superheroes.
as
Come on,
I'm
guys.
yeah, exactly, superheroes.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
as I'm looking at these reams of information, I'm like, okay, I can take all of these different little worlds, and I'm going to kind of like compress them and create my, take one of the planets that I made, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to compress them into this space, and throw a couple of moons that orbit that planet, and I'm going to say, okay, this is going to be the world that I'm making for my comic book universe, and I
Right.
named it Ringgold, and that world actually existed in the Stars Will Outnumber in a very like space age feeling like space, place, if you will.
Hmm.
And but when I got to actually like taking this thing that I made, I'm like, okay, but I want to make it grounded. So I want to give it the same feel and technology of the 80s and the 90s. And so I pretty much just kind of started messing around and just playing with different elements in it, and in metaphorical, clay, kind of forming it, as it were. And then I just, and it didn't take me a lot, long time to develop this thing, but it's just a whole planet that's been divided into different sectors. We call them states here, but
Right.
and through the use of Stargate technology, essentially there was a mass migration, but almost 2,000 years prior to the events of Chrome Dog #1 that took place, that brought certain pockets of humanity to Ringgold. And so they left this world and how much it sucks, and with all of the trappings and everything else that's here. And there were certain cultural people in different places around the world that got rounded up, and then they just kind of took the ship, so to speak. Not really a ship, but they went through the Stargate, destroyed it on the other side, and made a completely fresh start in this new world. And so now I have this sandbox of this world that I can create and tell stories
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
however I want. And so that's, I mean,
It really helps
it
when you
didn't
have
take me long.
the backdrop. You have the backdrop. You have some
Yeah,
lore, so yeah, that really helps, man. Good
it does.
stuff.
But I was definitely inspired by Hunger Games. There's, and
Okay.
I haven't really brought that up, but there are elements, you could say, of what Suzanne Collins is doing in the Hunger Games trilogy.
Right.
Um, so I think I'm gonna, but
Right.
only small.
By the way, speaking of Hunger Games, I recently saw the Maze Runner, and then you have this
Mm.
trilogy of the Maze Runner, and the first one was like, yeah, this core concept is pretty cool. So you knew the writer had this idea for the concept, but beyond that, the writer didn't really know what to do with it to expand the lore. It didn't really. I thought it was pretty boring. Anyway, anyway,
I mean,
segue.
well, and I would say the same thing about Mockingjay.
Right.
My son and I both, we share this fascination with that whole world that Suzanne Collins was making. And I feel
Mhm.
like, you know, I feel like there were maybe constraints that were put on her by Scholastic to be able to like keep it, within a 3-book thing, and she wanted to do more, but she couldn't, and so she meanders a bit in the third book. But man,
Mhm.
like there was a lot that could have been done better and whatnot. But yeah, I feel your frustration. I'm not into the Maze Runner. I haven't like watched any of the movies or read the books, but yeah, I understand.
Right. So you made these tabletop games. You made these adventures, right? You played with other people, um,
Mhm.
and so you were the dungeon master. How they call it?
Yeah, the game master. Yeah.
Oh, the game master. Sorry, man. And
Hmm.
so this
Yeah.
means that you could create concepts, right? But now you had to write a script. Did you notice any difficulties or challenges with writing a comic book script?
Yes. The instant, like the very first thing, coming from writing prose back when I was in college, and then later when I was fresh out of college, being an aspiring novelist, which I never became.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm pretentious enough to be a novelist, to be quite honest. But
An
kudos to
author.
those who do.
Yeah.
But yeah, an author. Oh no, I'm just a writer, man. I'm
Yeah.
just a writer. But yeah, uh, yeah. The first thing is when you go from having the ability to write all these different, write prose and make it and fill up the page with all these, descriptions and everything else. And even when you're handling action, you can there's certain liberties that you're allowed. You're like, okay, well, let's embellish this or or whatnot. And when
Mhm.
it comes to comics, you've got to be like, it has to move and it has to flow and it has to have a certain readability with on the page. um, so translating from here to that page in those six, I guess 7 panels per page max, with few exceptions, um, was it brings its own challenge. And of course, we're not going to talk about the monetary investment that comes from me not being, currently not being able to draw my own comics.
Right.
But I am working to learn at least layout first, so that I can help speed the process along, and I can just hand Luke or whoever the artist is on whichever project. Because I'm just so you folks are, your viewers might be aware. I'm looking to expand this world out and have other adventures in other places. So but yeah, that's definitely been the challenge, is trying to get the sequential part down for sequential art, and not skipping frames or making and not putting too many frames. I think that was the biggest
Yeah.
thing, was
Yeah.
when that first couple pages. I did this one where I was doing every little action, and it was like, there's no reason to do these. You can just pull these out, and it's like, okay, and the reader can actually connect the one to the other, as long as I do it right,
So did did
story
did
wise.
uh,
So
did Luke help you with the pacing or some of the format or whatever?
yeah, so when I submitted my first little script to him. And he and I, we kind of sat down and talked about it. He kind of gave me some pointers, and so they were almost like the guardrails for me, so that I could just kind of take and apply those principles going forward to kind of craft the script and actually get it to where it could be,
Mhm.
where it needed to be. But I will say, when it comes to the action parts, and I think this goes for not only Luke, but also I've been working with Kevin McDougall, who is drawing Luchador. His name, his Twitter handle is drawing Luchador. He's been helping me with this other project that maybe we'll get into in a little bit. That's Luke is also a part of, and we're part of Arrow Comics, by the way.
Right.
So this is all headed by Randy Zimmerman. But but so when it comes to action, I try to leave it open for Luke. I'm like, okay, I know that I want an action scene to start here on this page, and I want it to carry to about this page.
Hmm.
And so and I want certain beats to be hit, but it's kind of, I liken it to like a wrestling card. So like when the wrestlers, they're like, hey, this is how the event's going to go tonight, this and that and whatever, and then they do they make their changes sometimes on the fly or whatnot, but at the end they know who's going to win, right? And so that's kind of, and I've seen people make that kind of comparison to comics, and so that's pretty much how Luke and I work. Is I'll give him a heading, and I'm like, okay, this is where the action starts, and so as he does the action, then I'll come in later and work out the dialogue, and if there is going to be dialogue within their exchange in the fight, so to speak, and that's definitely on full display at this point in that PDF ashcan that I've provided.
Yes.
So.
Yes, good point, guys. There is a free preview, right? Like a few pages of the PDF.
It's the first 10 pages. Yeah, first 10 pages of the 32-page comic.
Yes. You can check it out. It's in the description below. So check it out, guys. Welcome, Bristolian Dave. All right, me babbers. Welcome, man. And Pops. Pops is here. Welcome, Pops. Brink and Sweet sounds like a sweetener. Yeah. Right. Let's take a look at your campaign, sir. Let me check. But before we do that, let's have a little advertisement.
Epsilon City needs heroes, but will Scratch, the Chrome Dog, have what it takes to answer the call? Chrome Dog, starting February 3rd on Indiegogo.
There we go. Right. Epsilon City?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. It's Sector Epsilon, but it's one of the sectors that has expanded so far out to be kind of go out to the borders of it or to the boundaries. And so the entirety of Sector Epsilon is now called Epsilon City. It's kind of a mix between Gotham City and Mega City 1 for all you Judge Dredd fans out there.
Right. Yeah. So this is a great book for people who like science fiction, maybe superheroes. What's your target audience here?
It's both, really. I mean, it's going to have science fiction elements. It's going to have. There's even some mafia intrigue. I haven't really highlighted that much, but there's going to be some mafia intrigue in the coming issues for sure. We hint at a little bit of it in this particular book, but yeah, it's definitely there's cyberpunk elements. And there is kind of a mutagenic or genetic manipulation kind of theme that kind of goes throughout as well. So yeah, we're gonna see some scientific
all right
shenanigans take place, mad scientists and just crazy stuff.
Exciting. All right, man. Chrome Dog issue 1, Perfect Strangers. How many issues do you have planned?
So for this story arc, I'm planning 3 32-page issues to be able to tell the story of what Chrome Dog is dealing with right now, for him to get through this particular obstacle that he faces, and to set him up for issue number 4, all the way to 300 and beyond. I mean, that's my goal. I know it's ambitious, but I really want to bring back a standard, a comic book that's going to, serialize and be something that will continue, kind of like how Spider-Man used to be, or Batman, or any number of other comics.
Right. Plus, you said you wanted. Plus, you said you want it to expand into other titles also.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes. for sure.
All right, big project, man.
Yeah.
Okay, you got
I
49
have
back.
goals.
Yeah, that's good, man. Think big. 49 backers, 15 days left. So great, you're now 97%. 97% funded, guys. Come
Yes.
on,
So thankful, grateful.
let's get him to 100 during this stream. That would be great. Let's do this.
Would very much appreciate that.
All right, great. Okay, first off, you have a fantastic cover. Is it a cover? By
Yes.
Aaron Lopresti.
Yes. Aaron Lopresti of Wraith of God fame. Among other things, Garbage Man, Marvel
Nice.
DC.
And it says here the colors are not yet finalized. Are these not
Correct.
the final colors?
No, he's still working them out.
Oh, so, really? It looks finished,
yeah.
but
hey, he's everything's good to go on my end as far as Aaron is concerned. So he just wants to tweak a few things. So I'm
these are professionals,
okay,
man.
Go ahead. Exactly. So
let them do their thing. Yeah, of course. Right. Yeah. All right. You have click here for preview ashcan. You can click here, guys, or you can find it in the description. All right. Let's see. You have one of the pages. It's very colorful. Is this book all ages?
So yes, in the description, I set it at like 10 years old and up, because that's the thing. I want my comics to be approachable for even younger audiences. I don't plan to be like I want there to be a level of seriousness to it, but not something that is going to prevent parents from buying this book for their kids. So while there is no cussing per se, I do use hell and damn in it. Those are probably the worst words that that the kids are going to read. But I mean, this day and age, come on.
Yeah. You don't make use of sensitivity readers, right?
Well, right.
Good. Okay. Bristolian Dave says Chrome Dog looks very cool. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
All right. So let's get back to this. Can you tell us a little bit about Chrome Dog? Who is he, or what is he?
So Chrome Dog is a bit of a mystery even to himself. He wakes up in present, or I say present day. I mean, he wakes up in Epsilon City, and he has amnesia and has insomnia, and he's the only one he's kind of a one of a kind guy. And so the implication is that he's, kind of what we're doing in these first 3 issues is establishing like what he is, and maybe a little bit of where he could have come from. I don't want to put too much emphasis on the origin or on his origin story, because I just want to like get right into the action. But he's definitely he's a working man. For all intents and purposes, he wakes up in this body and is like, what, he's completely disoriented, and he has this drive to work all the time. So he's then he can't sleep. So he's decided, okay, well, during the day I'm gonna do this one regular job, and then at night I'm gonna do these gigs for different people. Whether it's some things he plans out heists for the mob. He'll do I think he does draw certain lines when it comes to the mafia. When he works for some of these criminal organizations, he won't he's not a bruiser necessarily, even though he's a heavy, right, and he could certainly handle it. He doesn't want to make that part of what he does, but he does offer his services as a hacker, because this suit affords him certain abilities that are beyond the technical range of the world that he lives in, because their tech level is pretty much what is the same as the 1980s, 1990s. Cell phones are not everywhere. There's like only authority figures may have cell phones, so everyone's They're on dial-up. They're on rotary phones. There's so.
Right.
But yeah, for him, that living in that world, he gets to engage in that world in a superheroic way because he can tap into phone lines wirelessly. He has, in his main, he can pull out, phone different jacks to be able to interface.
Okay, so this world is much like Earth in the 90s.
Correct.
Right. And that's not his skin, but it's actual suit. So does he sometimes take the suit off?
So, okay, that's a good question. No, this is a body that his consciousness inhabits.
All right.
So he's been essentially downloaded into this body.
Right. Okay. But he
And
doesn't remember, so he doesn't know what he used to look like.
Correct.
Okay,
And
cool.
he doesn't remember his name. He doesn't remember his original name, so he just goes by Scratch. Everyone knows him as Scratch or the Chrome Dog.
The Chrome Dog, right? So these dog creatures, is he unique, or are there more
Yes.
dog people?
He's completely 100% unique.
Okay.
This suit transcends, or this suit, this body that he inhabits. It actually is from an advanced civilization that was from thousands of years before even the founding of Epsilon City. So and that's a little nugget that I haven't shared with anyone yet. So you hear it here first.
Right. This body is
it's in it. Yeah.
This body this is a technological construction. So
Marvel. Correct.
So he can't bleed, for instance. He's not made of flesh and bones.
Correct.
Okay. Awesome. Great.
But he's
who's this
not
guy?
completely invulnerable. So
Right. Yeah. And who's the villain? Is he a generic villain, or is he a specific character from the story?
So he's a specific character from the story. His name is Seether. He's a genetically altered individual that a mad scientist who will remain nameless for now. This mad scientist experimented on and kind of helped to give him his power set in a sense. So
Right. Yeah.
it's similar, maybe analogous to the mutagens from Ninja Turtles in a way. But his power set is his name is Seether, and his power set is such that he can shapeshift, so he can actually take a human form. But in his human form, he's profusely sweating all the time, and he constantly has to rehydrate. But when he transforms into his current state that we see here, his powers are that he's able to superheat certain areas of his body, and he can either produce powerful blasts of steam,
Right.
to melt, to melt skin off of bones if one were to get so so morbid, even though I don't plan to do anything like that. Or he can even take his tail if he wanted to and superheat it to the point where he can stab the hull of this fairy and sink it, because he can melt the metal in it. And so right here, what we see in this rain, he's in his element. So he's 100% at home, and Chrome Dog is having the fight of his life at this moment.
Yeah. Welcome, Spore Hacker. Spore Hacker says the villain reminds me of Abomination. Yeah, a little bit mixture. So, Abomination or the Scorpion.
Yeah, there are some little winks and nudges back and forth, and I would even go so far as he's amphibious as well, so he can he swims really well. So there's even just a hint of Namor in him as well, even though he doesn't have any wings on his feet or anything like that. But as far as his demeanor, he's got a bit of a chip on his own shoulder. So
right. Great. Yeah. Fantastic art, man. Looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we have this, and we have some more Luke Stone art, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
And that
So,
and real quick, the colors here, the vibrancy of the colors, I owe like tremendous debt to Luke for kind of giving me access to his colorist for the hybrids. Patrick Gamma,
oh, okay.
he knocked it out of the park. I mean, he really completely just stepped up and has shown out here. So mad props to him too, for sure.
Right.
Makes it even more compelling and exciting.
Yeah, the colors look really nice. Sporhacker asks, could he also breathe underwater? So I think he's referring to the villain.
Yes. So Seether is he's amphibious, and but I guess with him being amphibious, he does have gills as well. So it's kind of like Waterworld in that sense. As
Mhm.
far as Chrome Dog goes, he has no need to breathe, so it's not even a thing.
Right. Okay.
So
All right. Guys, if you have any questions, just drop it in the chat. Yeah, awesome. So um, a lot of things going on here. So how did you write this
yeah.
particular scene? Did you
Um,
lay out every panel?
Um, so yes, I did. I actually this is a part of the comic that I did kind of go over it and with kind of a certain level of detail to make sure that each panel was what I wanted. And so one I know I'm taking a bit of a risk in this comic. Luke told me, that's one of the things he says. He says that's what I like about you, Justin, is that you just go for it. He's like you see something and you just want to do it, and he says not a lot of creators do that. So the risk that I've taken here is first person, so that we can see through Chrome Dog's eyes in a few
Oh,
panels here. We can see from his perspective, both either from a I guess you could say from a human vision point of view, and then also his machine, the body itself, the way it's
right.
able to process the information is very matrixy, kind of reminiscent of the Matrix mixed with the Terminator, that kind of thing. And so he has these different visual processors, and so we kind of, for the longest time, I spoiled the first two pages in art on Twitter whenever I would share it, and I just would not go here because I didn't want to yet show that he has these other abilities. I just want to kind of bring those along with,
Okay.
but at this point, it's like, hey, here's all 10 pages. Enjoy.
Right. So people visiting this campaign, they should not be confused that they think that this is Chrome Dog because this is just him disguising himself, right? I think.
Correct. So
Yeah.
he's correct. So Chrome Dog is underneath there.
Yeah.
He's suiting up. This is his day job where he works at Cerulean Park, and it's an amusement park where he dresses up as Wally the Wolf. Now, why would a wolf be this golden color? That's because there's a local indigenous wildlife known as the golden prairie wolf, and so so whatever exec decided, whatever animation cartoon people in the world, they created this cartoon character named Wally the Wolf, and so he's playing as a mascot of that character during the day in this park to kind of watch for some bad guys. Because in
Okay.
the story right here, there's been kidnappings, and then there's also been runaways that have been going on, and so he's kind of, because he can't sleep and whatnot during the day, even though even though it is kind of ironic because being in a machine, he shouldn't have a need to sleep, and so that's kind of the
Right.
first clue that perhaps maybe there's more to this guy than just being a robot, so to speak. So
All right. Welcome, Hojo. Welcome, sir.
hey, Hojo.
Fellow nerds. Yeah, man. We're nerds and we're proud of it. So what's happening here? What's the effect trying to tell here?
Yeah.
The background.
So this is him kind of like in his own consciousness. He's having a discussion with his virtual intelligence named Sally, and she's, you know, as he's suiting up, you know, she's conversing with him about the goings on, and kind of she's how can I say this? She's being quite condescending to him in a way, but that's just who she is.
Right.
And the thing is, she's installed in his suit with him. So not
Oh.
only is she not only is he in this suit, but she's installed on like an internal drive, and she's mad as hell that she can't control the suit. Like she should be the one that's Chrome Dog, not him. And so
Okay.
and she
Right.
has no access. And the other thing that's really disturbing her is Sally cannot read his memory logs. So she has no idea what he thinks. She has no idea, and all she can get is what he says. So
Okay.
that's
And she's constantly with him?
yes. Now
Wow.
he can turn her off for certain periods of time.
Right.
Think of her as being like a Siri that you can't really shut off completely, but you can say, okay, we're gonna put you in a certain like timeout for a certain amount of time, but then she
Right.
comes back up, and so that's essentially what's happening.
All right. Right. Some more art. Guys, the link to this campaign is pinned in the chat. It's also in the description of the video if you're watching the replay. Check it out. It's 97% funded right now. So let's get him to 100, man. That would be awesome. Yeah, some more great art. Yeah, nice. Very colorful. Okay, let's see what kind of perks you got here. Oh wait, we can do it here. So the perks. You have the featured perk is the Arrow Comics bundle. So you get a bunch of books.
Correct. You get 6 books. You get 5 plus Chrome Dog. These are new books. Actually, let's see. Yeah, the only one on this tier that already has existed is the Hybrids #2.
It's hybrids,
the others the others are still in production, and so that's one of the reasons I've pushed the fulfillment date out to October, is just to make sure that, because there's so many spinning plates, want to make sure everything is good to go for fulfillment. But yeah, this is something that all of us Arrow Comics creators are doing with each other under the advisement of Randy over at Arrow.
Right.
So yeah.
That's great. That's great, guys. For just $40, you get 6 comics, guys. That's great. And yours alone is like 32 pages, right?
Correct.
Right. Great. You also can get the digital if you want to support Justin without the shipping costs. Then you can just read the digital comic. First shift Luke Stone cover, or the Luke Stone cover. Let me see. That was this one. Let me see this one. Okay. Yeah, great cover, man. It's cool. I always like this Arrow Comics logo. Looks nice. Yeah. The Aaron Lopresti cover. That's the one that's now being colored.
Correct.
That you can see the colored version. For just $15, guys, you get the single issue.
Mm-hmm.
So $15, you get the single issue. But if you do, let me see, or $40, you get 6 books. Great. Arrow Bundle 1, so the previous books.
Right. So before we get to that, if you'll scroll up just by one, there's the black and white line edition.
Sorry, yeah.
So far, no one's claimed that one, but that one's available for $20, and that features all Luke's, inks. You could say his pencils, but it's his inks. He is a digital artist, but it shows every stroke and everything in its original black and white, no lettering, so it's for folks to collect. And also this book and the Lopresti variants are only available on this campaign. So
This campaign,
get
right?
them while you
So
can.
so you will print only the amount of backers that you get for that particular cover, and then it's done.
That is the plan. I mean,
Yeah.
given, I guess it depends on how many I get, because I may round it up to the next number that
Sure.
makes sense. But
Yeah.
that's it. Like it's only one time going to the printers, and then it's done.
Yes.
For those.
Dr. Rhino, welcome, sir. Dr. Rhino,
Hey,
cool.
Dr. Rhino.
Sporeka says, I already backed digital. Thank you so much, man.
Yes, thank you.
And he has a question. His last question, he says, what's Chrome Dog's greatest flaw?
His greatest flaw, probably his trust. He's kind of naive, so he can be very trusting of certain people in his that employ him, and I think that's going to get him into a lot of trouble.
Right, so he can be easily manipulated if not careful.
Yeah, exactly.
Great, good question, man. Good question.
For sure.
Okay, so you can get the black and white version, which is awesome. You get the Arrow bundle. You can also add on stuff, right? So if you buy this bundle, can you add the second bundle also?
Yes. I've made every perk I've made available as an add-on.
Great.
There was an exception. But
Great.
I don't think there is. So, but yeah.
The Midnight Shift pack. What's that?
So that's the Aaron Lopresti cover plus a metal print of the cover.
Oh, a metal print.
Yes. So it's one each. Okay. Well, sure. Hey,
great. Yeah.
I mean, that's yeah.
What's the favorite food? Yeah, those kinds of questions.
I mean.
Swing shift pack stone. Oh, it's the same principle, right? So you get the cover plus a metal print.
A metal print.
Right.
Yep.
And the all-nighter bundle, you get everything?
Yeah, you get all three of the covers.
Wow.
So you get 3 different issues of Chrome Dog plus the 2 metal prints.
Excellent.
And plus all the stretch goals as we move along in those. So.
That's fantastic, man. That's fantastic. All right. Let's take a little look at Arrow Distribution. They have their own site also. So this is your book will eventually probably be available through their platform. Eventually.
Yes.
This is also linked, guys. Everything we're going to show you, it's all available in the description. And do you know when FundMyComic will be launching?
That is the $64,000 question, my friend. Honestly, at this point, they're working on it. They're really Surrendum is the main. They're the platform, if you will. And they're currently working on trying to get certain features up and running and whatnot, because we're I say we because I had originally wanted to launch on FundMyComic, and because it was delayed, I opted to do the initial crowdfund on Indiegogo. But from what I'm being told is there's certain features that people had filled out on a survey that we're trying to implement and get to where it's going to function right. And so they're just kind of working out all the kinks, working out the bugs, and hopefully soon. I can't really give a date. Luke or Todd of Redshift would definitely be the two to talk to about that a little.
Yes. I think a lot of people are very curious about this one. I know I am. This is a tremendous undertaking. If it works, it would be amazing, and I would be incredibly impressed So yeah, it's
Yes.
so yeah,
And that's the other thing. Like we want to make it right. We want to, we want
yeah,
it to be, completely right, you know, and be good to go, out of the gate, so that it's helpful for everyone involved, because, we need to do the thing. Well, thank
yeah.
you,
It needs to be done.
Dr. Dr. Ryan.
It's best to postpone to make it, because once it goes live,
Yeah,
it needs to work. You can't
for sure.
fix things
Yeah,
once things are live, because that's your marketing, your branding,
reputation.
your
It's,
advertisement,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah,
All right, man. Okay,
for sure.
let's get back to Chrome Dog for a second, because we wanted to see if you have any new backers. You're now at 49. Let's refresh. Come on, guys. Come on. Ah, damn it. I wanted
It's
to play the
okay.
video. Come on, guys. Okay, no worries. You're 97% funded with
Now,
15 days left. So halfway there,
yeah.
and already almost funded, man.
Well, there's one thing I highlight as much as I can. It's, I guess at this point it's kind of like a speakeasy thing in a way. But the first 50 physical backers will receive a metal trading card of that Lopresti cover. We're going to try to do a trade dress that's very similar and reminiscent of the 90s superhero trading card. So
the first
and then also
50
if you
backers.
first 50 physical backers, yes.
Right, physical backers. Okay. And
So if you scroll down, yeah, if you go all the way down, it'll get into the stretch goals, if you like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, a stretch sticker also. All right, great.
Yeah.
You tell me when to stop, right?
Yeah, well, that's fine. It's all right there. So I'm starting, kind of like that's the locked stretch goal, and then as we
Right.
go along, I'll set a dollar amount, and then get the art up to show what the next item is.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Yeah, this is best to keep updating while the campaign is going, so you know the rhythm of the campaign, and you can anticipate when you will hit a certain number. Yeah, it's best to do it like this. Yeah. All right, great, guys. Please share this campaign. Tell everyone about Chrome Dog. It looks awesome. It looks excellent. So yeah. Let's stop sharing. And Spore Hacker has another question about Chrome Dog. Does he like boobs?
I would imagine so. Another spoiler: he is a man somewhere in there, so sure.
All right. Yeah, these are important questions that people need to know, man. They need to know this. Right. Whew. Yeah, great. Okay, so what other things do you have planned? Now you're on the campaigning tour. Do you have some shows you're for next week?
So actually, let's see. I don't have my schedule is over there, but I've got tonight here in a few hours. I'm looking forward to. Oh, yeah. Well, that's pretty easy to do, Spore Hacker, to make me laugh when it comes to things like that. But yeah, I'm hopefully going to be able to come on to John Malin's show this evening for the Comic Skate Presents show.
That will be great.
Yeah, I've got some other shows coming up. I guess if you give me a sec, let me grab my little handy little.
You have a list. Yeah. That's wise.
Yeah, I do.
That's wise.
Yeah, I have.
So you
it
not
looks
forget.
Like I'll be on. Yeah. Yeah, I generally just lurk in the chat.
Sure.
And just hang out. I like to hang out. I'm actually going to be starting to do my own YouTube live streams and channel stuff here soon,
Oh,
where
great.
where I create art with hand embroidery. So that could be fun, where I interact with the chat and maybe even have a guest on or whatnot. We just sit, hang
Right.
out, talk about like whatever.
So
Talk
you'll
about
be
whatever other
drawing.
people
You'll be
aren't
drawing
talking
your
about.
your own art live.
No. So here, let me show you. So I've got this right here. So I do hand embroidery work, needlepoint.
Oh,
So
okay.
So yeah. So
Right. So you.
Marvel.
So
then we got
soon
Iron
we can
Man.
get the Chrome Dog logo like this.
yeah. Or what I'm thinking of doing is having maybe doing a poll or a survey in the chat and have people tell me what character they'd like to see or whatnot. But yeah, it's hard to tell, but that's Mega Man.
Yes.
I did that one.
Cool.
And then and all this is hand done. I thought I had it. I guess not. But yeah.
All right.
There's that. And
Great, man. Great. Well, so cool. So people want to be updated about your campaign, but also about your own channel, YouTube channel. Once you go live with that. So where can people follow you?
So I live on Twitter. So at Justin K Sweet, as you see right there in the right here on the screen. But you can follow me there. You can find me on Facebook. I am older, so why not, right? And then I've got a YouTube channel as well. It should be at Justin K Sweet on YouTube. And I'm on the Discords, but and I've got a Discord going for what I'm working on as far as Chrome Dog and everything Agent Zero. Back when it was Agent Zero Studios, I guess. So I have a Discord for that, but I'm not. I mean, it's right now it's not much of anything. I've got to get it to where I can handle actual like moderating some of the stuff on there.
Right. Okay, man. Okay,
controls.
Justin. Thank you so much for being my guest today. This week. I wish you the best of luck with your campaign. And special thanks to the chat for everyone who showed up and who watched us and who asked questions and who backed and who shared and who liked. Please like if you liked this stream. If you didn't like it, please give it a dislike. And I'm very sorry. So next week, I'll be back. Same time, same channel, new guest. Hope to see you guys then. Bye-bye, guys.